The film starts with a glimpse into the past. Young Henry is tormented by some bullies, but they're chased off by his dad. His dad assures him, "You're okay, Henry." Fast forward to Henry, jolted awake inside a water-filled chamber in an odd lab. He can't recall anything about how he landed there. A girl named Estelle helps drain the water. Glancing down, he realizes his left arm below the elbow and leg below the knee are gone. Estelle tells him he can't talk for now, but it's a short-term thing. She scans him and mentions he's lost his eyes, and now his vision is via a video feed. A machine voice verifies the video link is good. Estelle fixes a mechanical arm to him which gets firmly attached. She tests it with an apple in his hand. He grips it, and the apple bursts due to the robotic strength. As she works on his leg and his hand gets a skin cover, Estelle drops a bombshell, she's his wife. But, she adds, he might not recall this. She gives him their wedding ring, saying, "Remember, I love you, Henry." Moving to the next room, they meet two tech guys tinkering with voice tech. They make fun, suggesting he pick from a bunch of famous voices. Suddenly, alarms blare. There's a major security issue. A door blasts open, killing one tech. Russian soldiers storm in, and behind them, their boss Aiken surveys the scene. He wants an army of super soldiers like Henry. When Aiken asks about Henry's original state, the tech details how battered he was, especially his face. But Estelle has remade him. Showing off his powers, Aiken levitates the tech and ends his life. Estelle quickly uses loud music to confuse the soldiers, helping them flee. They dash through vents and end up in a chilly room filled with bodies. Estelle warns that Aiken wants her research to make heartless fighters. They find an escape pod. With only one left, Estelle plans to let Henry escape alone, but he insists she joins. They leave the airborne lab but open their parachute too late, crashing onto a bridge. "Let go of me," shouts Henry as mercenaries hold him, but suddenly another group approaches. Their leader uses a taser on him. Henry plunges off the bridge and lands on a car. He gets up, avoiding the mercenaries. One of them shoots a nearby guard. Henry sneaks into a big metal box and grabs a metal piece from a car inside to defend himself. When one mercenary enters, Henry tackles him, taking his weapon. He tries to drive a car into them but is hit by an Atkins Corporation vehicle. Another vehicle smashes into the scene. A man in a clean shirt exits, fighting off the remaining mercenaries. He walks over, "I'm Jimmy, can you speak?" Seeing Henry's silence, he adds, "Guess you're not mute," urging Henry to follow. "Look in the glove box," he instructs. They find a device showing Henry's low battery. "Good news, you'll live, but only for 20 to 30 minutes, says Jimmy, planning to take him to his workshop. But cops, who are really disguised mercenaries, halt them. They start shooting. Jimmy tries to escape, but a bullet strikes him. The vehicle crashes. Henry escapes on foot. He goes underground, switching clothes in a shop. But a disguised cop spots him. They fight until Henry defeats him. Rushing out, Henry hops onto a bus. Soon, a man resembling a beggar sits across. He grabs Henry's hand, revealing himself as another version of Jimmy. "You need to track down Dimitri, one of Aiken's guys. Take out his charging device. Here's a map on this phone," he advises, giving him a phone. After getting him, look under his arm for the device. "Bring it to me." Pointing at someone in a weird jacket outside, Jimmy inquires about a man's unique coat, but the man responds with a blast of fire from a flamethrower. Henry quickly exits the bus, borrowing water from a nearby couple to douse his burning clothes. Escaping the man with the flamethrower, Henry swipes clothes from some revelers at a park, leading to a brief disagreement, which he resolves without violence. He arrives at Dimitri's place. Using agility, he sneaks inside, evading the guards. But an elevator encounter with a thug and his backup forces him to act, using one as a shield while dispatching the others. Inside Dimitri's apartment, Henry discovers a tech setup and spots Dimitri, seemingly frozen. Just as Estelle's video call warns Henry of Aiken's impending army, Dmitri springs into action, sparking a fierce shootout. Dmitri makes an escape, leaping out a window, prompting a chase. Devoid of bullets, Henry listens to Dmitri's taunts about his half-human, half-machine nature. The pursuit intensifies, with both running across a cityscape, until a clever move with a champagne bottle from a cafe allows Henry to overpower Dmitri. But as Dmitri is about to spill vital information, a surprise gunshot ends his speech. More foes appear, but Henry snags Dmitri's crucial charging device and flees. Another call from Jimmy gives him a new rendezvous point. Following the given path, Henry finds himself in a peculiar establishment, where staff eagerly anticipates his arrival. This time, a different version of Jimmy, looking like he's had a wild night, greets him. As Henry's systems start to fail, this Jimmy struggles to fix him, but his impaired state doesn't help. Suddenly, another Jimmy walks in, completing the task with precision. In the midst of chaos, Jimmy admits to Henry that things might seem a bit muddled, suggesting a trip to the lab for clarity. A call warns them of incoming mercenaries. A geeky version of Jimmy departs, leaving behind a more wild Jimmy, who finds motivation from a quick sniff of powder. Find more weapons in that drawer, he suggests. Armed, Henry dives into a fight, battling foes throughout a bustling establishment, much to the distress of its patrons. Jimmy joins in, and two other women, one with a gun and another with a katana, get involved. During the skirmish, Henry confronts a kin. Their clash ends with a kin using mysterious powers to send Henry crashing into an underground area. More adversaries show up, but with Jimmy's help, they're defeated. A new version of Jimmy, resembling a free spirit. They interrogate a captured foe to learn of Estelle's whereabouts. Two agitated women from the establishment, angered by the disruption, join them, desiring vengeance on a kin. The quartet then chase Akin's convoy on motorcycles. Catching up, Henry uses a heavy weapon to neutralize one vehicle. As the action intensifies, he takes on other vehicles, with some assistance from a daring woman on a motorcycle. Yet, the chase claims her life. Now, only Akin's main truck remains. Breaking in, Henry confronts the captors and finds Estelle confined. As they're about to embrace, Akin interrupts with a curious fact about baseball bats and balls in Russia, hinting at their true use. The showdown results in Henry being thrown out of the vehicle. Later, Henry awakens in a forest, with mercenaries plotting his end. But in a twist, the hippie version of Jimmy and a companion come to his rescue. They fix Henry's dislodged eye and work on restoring him, noting a device blocking his memory. Henry wakes and watches as the pair reach a moment of pure clarity. However, the serenity is short-lived. Mercenaries in heavy armor assault them, leading to the demise of the hippie duo. Making his move, Henry breaches the armored vehicle and overpowers the adversaries using the sharp blade left behind by Jimmy's partner. His sights then turn to an enemy aircraft. As he dashes towards it, he fiercely tackles several foes. Attempting to board via a hanging line, a high-ranking foe severs his lifeline, causing him to plummet into a tree below. After this, a fresh call from another Jimmy iteration provides him a new rendezvous point. Upon reaching the destination, a sharp-eyed Jimmy welcomes him. This Jimmy guides Henry through a forsaken structure, peppering their journey with a humorous tale. They finally reach a sophisticated lab. Here, the initial Jimmy, bound to a wheelchair, greets him. He recounts his venture of crafting a force of elite warriors for Akin, drawing parallels to a classic Van Damme film. Relocating to Russia, Jimmy developed multiple versions of himself, managed via advanced tech. This showcase takes a tuneful twist, only to be interrupted by an urgent alert of an incoming video signal. Realizing his base is compromised, a skirmish erupts between Henry, Jimmy's many selves, and the intruders. What's happening? What's that broadcast? Jimmy loses his composure momentarily, but Henry's stern intervention realigns him. Reflecting, Jimmy utters, "Why did I trust that mechanical toy?" Given their circumstances, the two form an uneasy alliance to face the encroaching mercenaries. Together with a sniper-themed Jimmy, they hold a strategic point atop the building, repelling attackers. Yet, the enemy gains ground. When the sniper variant fails, A more unhinged version of Jimmy storms in, dispatching foes in wild, unexpected ways. His final act, a kamikaze explosion. Amidst the chaos, the primary Jimmy spots an impersonator preparing an escape. They prepare for a grand exit, battling their way out and using an array of weaponry. That was close. But just as escape seems imminent, foes corner them at the building's base. Acting decisively, a commanding avatar orders Henry back and triggers a massive explosion, burying adversaries under rubble. The duo flee the scene, yet 3 pursuing vehicles threaten their getaway. Utilizing an explosive device, firearms, and heavier artillery, they neutralize the pursuers. Their journey culminates at Aiken's central base, setting the stage for the ultimate confrontation. Advancing, they realize Aiken's army setup is already in motion. Facing incoming bullets, Henry counters quickly with his grenade launcher. In a lift, Henry finds the main Jimmy critically wounded, a piece of metal embedded in his throat. The commanding figure informs Henry that his memory suppression device is now inactive, meaning his past will slowly return. As this avatar powers down, Jimmy shares a final moment of gratitude for their friendship before passing. Undeterred, Henry advances to the upper levels, clearing foes using his trusty launcher. Upon accessing the main operations area, he confronts a display of his own memories. A message from Aiken reveals his malicious intent, to use Henry's memories to shape his warriors' minds. Furthermore, Aiken shows that each soldier begins their journey hearing the same lie from Estelle, claiming she is their wife and expressing her love. Facing a menacing, enhanced cyborg, Henry struggles but eventually overpowers the adversary, utilizing its tech to upgrade himself. Just as he thinks he's done, a swarm of robotic adversaries close in. Using every trick he knows, and boosted by a dose of adrenaline, time seems to slow for Henry, providing a fleeting advantage. In the climactic confrontation, Aiken dominates, leaving Henry momentarily unconscious. Waking, he's met with a shocking betrayal. Estelle, believed to be his true love, is with Aiken. Mockery ensues, with Aiken revealing his scheme to create countless soldiers, each deceived by a fake marriage. A vague flashback showcases a fatherly figure's encouragement to a young Henry, instilling resilience. Enraged, Henry rises, facing Aiken on a helipad. A dramatic battle ensues, with Henry using sheer will to overcome Aiken's telekinetic defenses. Overpowering him, Henry deals a fatal blow, separating Aiken from his head using an improvised weapon. Boarding a helicopter, Henry confronts Estelle. In disbelief, she questions his actions. Calmly, Henry writes a single word in reply. As Estelle takes a shot at him, his mechanical defenses deflect the bullet, wounding her. As she dangles perilously from the chopper, she pleads for mercy. Henry seals her fate with a final gesture.